Guys, we're back again with episode 4 of the Sidelion Podcast, week 14 of the NFL season. We're getting close to the playoffs in this one, and for fantasy owners, it is the playoffs. I am here not with Gavin today, but I'm actually with Jack, which is surprisingly on time. But yeah, we're back here again. But tragedy has struck. I finally have to say it from what happened last week, as the Browns killed the Titans, but also did bring them back into the game. But they killed the Titans, and I have to say it now. The Browns were a good team. I finally have to say it. I told you guys that they won against the Titans. I'd finally say it, and now I have to say it. Still don't think Baker Mayfield's good, though.
No, he's not good.
But let's get into this, guys. First thing we're going to be talking about, like usual, is the star rookies we want to be talking about, or the rookies of the draft. Today we got defensive backs and linebackers. We picked just a few. This one will probably be shorter than others because we're just kind of on a tight schedule here. But yeah, starting off, we got Jeff Okudah we're going to be talking about. This was the first defensive player, well, second because Chase Young, but basically, he was kind of the first guy to really people were looking at otherwise from Chase Young, and he was picked third to the Detroit Lions. 21 years old, 6'1", 202 pounds. He started off the season very poorly, I would say. Looked like he really wasn't as ready as what he was over in Ohio State. When it came to that, he was very upbeat, never really got any penalties or anything, and he looked great on the field in Ohio State. He got to the Lions, and it looked like he was getting burnt. He didn't know how to cover receivers, even though he was going against the top receivers of the NFL in the time that he was playing. It still seemed like he just hasn't made that step yet. And it looked like before he got injured, now out, getting groin surgery next week. But before that, it seemed like he was just starting to understand how to play in the NFL, and it was starting to look very good. Got his first interception season, and he ended it with 41 solo tackles, 2 pass defense. So, I mean, yeah, it wasn't he wasn't playing too bad, but he was just starting to learn how to play, it seems like.
Yeah, like you said, right before he got injured, he was playing, pretty not like awful. He was kind of
Yeah,
actually like getting used to that NFL tempo and everything. And I think a lot of people are saying, oh, he was a bust. He's not good. I think he comes back next year after surgery. Maybe week 1 he doesn't ball out, but I think give him a couple weeks. I think mid-season by next year he'll definitely be our number 1 corner. Like
definitely.
solid.
I
number 1
definitely
corner.
want to see if COVID isn't going on. That I hope we will be able to see him play when it comes to time in preseason. And yeah, I love to see how he'll perform and what will happen. Definitely great to see. Great to see the improvement that he has had. Even though he was supposed to be the third pick, he should have been ready to play and ready to go. Everybody was expecting that out of him. I mean, he was a top 5 pick in the NFL. Usually, when you're that, you're not one of those players that are just wanting to be developed. That's not how the NFL is anymore, sadly. But that's just how it is. And yeah, kind of a disappointing start, but we'll see what happens to him afterwards.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how he develops.
All right. Well, going on to the next one, we're going with a linebacker coming out of the first round, too, a little bit on the later side. We got the Baltimore Ravens Patrick Queen, 6', 232 pounds. Now, this guy was projected, I would say, to be the best linebacker in the draft, and he's kind of performed that way too. Very solid player. Looks like a veteran when he plays. I love it when he plays, and when you watch him play too. You can see when there's open holes and everything, and there's a hole for that running back to go through. He is right there to stop him. He's shown that great eye vision talent. Almost looks like a line or a running back going through those holes sometimes, and it's something great to see out of a rookie like that. He's 21 years old, same thing as Jeff Okudah, and yeah, he has a long time in the league so far. 55 solo tackles, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and an interception, which are great stats to see from a rookie too. You want to build up those stats as much as you can when you're a rookie, just so you can get all that time out there and be able to learn from your mistakes and everything. And so far, I believe Patrick Queen is a top what do you call it, defensive rookie of the year candidate right there. But I think Chase Young has it. But I mean, Patrick Queen is there, no doubt from that.
Yeah, I think at one point in the season,
Patrick
Patrick
McQueen.
Patrick Patrick Queen was I think
Dang, now he's a
a
crane.
defensive rookie of the year. I think at one point he definitely was a solid defensive rookie of the year. I think he's playing amazing. I think um he goes along with this defense really well. I think in
Hmm
2 years, like I think even if the Ravens defense lose all their good players right now and they keep Patrick Queen, I think Patrick Queen
Yeah,
could lead the Ravens defense in a couple years. I think he'll develop really nicely. I think he'll
yeah,
be a
yeah.
really good linebacker.
Something that I've noticed is that when it comes to him playing, is that he does kind of almost want to take that leadership role. He's learning very well, and I've loved to see that. He's been developing great, and I don't know. I can't wait to see what he'll do. Defense is always a fun thing to watch, especially when you get those big hits. And yeah, I just can't wait to see what he'll do. Definitely a great run stopper. You gotta love that. It's very underrated in the NFL to be a good run stopper. You don't see that much often. You always hear the people that make all the sacks and stuff. Well, guess what? That really doesn't matter if you're getting ran over with the running game.
Yeah,
So next up, we got is Jeff Gladney going back to a corner. Coming out of the first round, the last pick. Um, great. He's actually performed a lot better than what I thought he would perform. I really didn't see Jeff Gladney from TCU as a great player coming out of the draft, but he's definitely performed as to be a great player. Hasn't got an interception on the season, but how he has performed against great talent has been great to see. Especially with a lot of their corners leaving, as you see, guys know, as like Xavier Rhodes getting to the end of his career, I would say, and then him leaving off to I don't even know where. I think he's
I think with
Saints
the
or something like
Colts.
that. Yeah, something around there. But
I think he's
um
on the Colts right now.
okay, but yeah, he hasn't been performing that well, and then Jeff Gladney came in to fill in that role, and I think he's doing pretty good. You see some raw talent here and there. You see where he can be raw, leaving guys open, but that's the same thing almost as I see as like a Mani Warrior. I say those two are very close, very physical players, and I just love how they play. So far he has 50 solo tackles, one forced fumble, and then two pass defenses, and it's not looking too bad. Not gonna lie. I'm loving it and can't wait to see what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I don't think anyone was really looking at him like a premier corner, but I think he's filled that Viking spot really nice. Especially with losing Xavier Rhodes, but I'd like to see how he develops. I mean, he could probably. I mean, there's a chance he could develop into a really, really good corner, and the Vikings could have that kind of defensive piece because right now it's kind of just Harrison Smith.
For real though, Harrison Smith is really keeping that defensive back group together. That's something that the Lions need. They need someone like that. Come on now. But speaking of, this was actually my okay. I don't know if you guys remember this, but Jack and I we used to do some live streams, and I was high on two people, Justin Jefferson.
Oh, I still have the notes. Hold up, let me pull them. Let
Oh,
me
you
pull them
do?
up.
Oh no. Oh no. But I'm just gonna say this right now. I was high on two people, if I remember right. It was Justin Jefferson and Isaiah Simmons. All right. Now these two guys,
Uh,
I believed were
okay.
the best coming out of the draft, and Isaiah Simmons really hasn't proved that. He seems like he does not fit the defense that the Cardinals are in. Um, I think he needs to be more of that flexible player where he's allowed to play at defensive back, or if he wants to play at linebacker, he shouldn't be set to just the edge position, as he's not always the best with that. So far, with 32 solos and two sacks and an interception, I mean, he's been looking all right, but it just doesn't seem like it's the right fit. He might need a couple more years to get used to this type of setup, but definitely not something that he played in Clemson. And I'm hoping that he'll be able to find his groove sooner or later. Definitely something to watch out about. He does look raw. Something that I wasn't really expecting coming from Isaiah Simmons is he was looking like an absolute beast coming out of Clemson, and I don't know. Just been sad to see that, but hoping he can rebound next year and start doing something great. I don't know. What do you have you found the notes yet from that one time, or are you just like struggling over there?
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Okay. So one of them was you thought Justin Jefferson was going to be the best rookie receiver, which is actually
I'm
true.
right about that. Give me
That's
that.
actually that's actually crazy.
Ah, what was
And
that? When were those notes made? I just want to make sure that so you guys know.
May 8th,
There
2020.
you go. I am telling you guys right now. I said Justin Jefferson was going to be one of the best receivers, rookie wide receivers coming
No,
out.
you said best.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, yeah. And then I think this one might be true though, but there's a lot of different factors in it. Ayuk is better than Rieger. I
He
think
has
I think he
definitely been
is.
better.
Yeah.
Jalen Rager, I believe, is a bust. He looked like it coming out of college
Well, I
too.
mean, it's he's also on the Eagles. That's why I thought like
Well,
different.
that's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, he hasn't been able to perform at all, and he hasn't looked good performing there either.
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
that's why he's not starting. You see Justin Jefferson. I hope you know that the Vikings, they never put out rookies, all right? Rookies, like same thing with what happened to Stephon Diggs. He wasn't able to perform. He had to back up everybody, and then he had to work his way up. He had to work his butt up there. All right, that is
Yeah,
like the hardest. If you were a rookie, a first round rookie going into the Vikings, or yeah, if you're a first round rookie going into the Vikings, um, their head coach will not let you start there right away.
yeah,
It's something that's been shown, like I said with Stephon Diggs. So just to say, that's just the proof that's showing that, hey, maybe Jalen. This hard area that Justin Jefferson came into kind of shows that Jalen Rager maybe doesn't have the talent that everybody was thinking. I never really saw it in him, and then you also hear him like faking all these like 40-yard claims and stuff, kind of strange stuff like that, where it's like are you sure you're saying that? Like, because he was saying how he was gonna have the fastest 40 time. He was gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be the fastest one here," and then he comes out to the 40s, and it's like, "Oh, that wasn't too good, man. That wasn't no
yeah.
4-2 like we were expecting. What's going on here?" And then he posts this very sketchy video of him with his one of his coaches, and he's like, "Oh yeah, look, I ran a 4.24 here or something." I don't even remember the speed, but it was like, "All right, man, you go ahead."
Yeah, and then there's one more, and it was Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the best running back in the draft.
Oh no, oh lord, I did not
So
say that. I feel like you said that. There's
I
no
did
way
not
I
say
said
that.
that.
I think I said it was
I was saying Jonathan Taylor. I thought.
maybe you were high on Jonathan
I was
Taylor.
really high on Jonathan Taylor.
Wait, no, never mind. That's me. I said that.
Yeah, I did not think Edwards was that good. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, not to say, against that game that you just had, who was it against? Tennessee no. No, 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 I don't remember, but who was the game that they just played? Tennessee Titan not Tennessee Titans, the, Colts. They had a pretty good game against the Ravens where, he had a pretty big game. I'm pretty sure 124 yards for Jonathan Taylor. But yeah, as we said from our last video, I don't remember. I think it was week 2 we talked about running backs. No, it was week 1. Yeah, speaking of week 1, just wanted to say Jonathan Taylor, like I said, hasn't been performing as well as we all thought he would, but he has had a good game. That game right there was pretty good to show, and then the week before that was pretty good too. But let's get back on track here.
Yeah. Well, if I,
Isaiah
with
Simmons,
Isaiah Simmons, yeah, Isaiah
Isaiah
Simmons. um, Going into the draft, I was fine with either Kuda or Simmons. In fact, I probably would have preferred
I
Simmons
wanted Simmons. I really
just
wanted the Lions to
because
pick Simmons.
we had Trufant and we have Coleman. Like our cornerbacks
Yeah,
aren't that bad. Plus, Simmons would have fit our system so much better. Like
yeah,
Matt Patricia puts, well, he's gone now, but
yeah.
our defense was very versatile, and he would have thrived in that because we would have put him at safety, and then we would have
Put
put
him
him
at
at
the
edge,
yeah.
and then we would have put him at linebacker, and
Give him that Tracy Walker role. I don't think Tracy Walker's doing as good as he was in that role now. That's something that I've noticed. So I don't know. I
yeah,
think Isaiah Simmons would have been a great fit for that safety role that we have for him.
oh
But
yeah.
man, it
Like
kind of
he
sucks.
could have even just played safety with Tracy Walker. Like we don't really have like
Yeah,
another safety that's really good because we trade Quandre Diggs for some reason.
yeah. Oh man. Well, coming up to the next person we got is Antoine Winfield. This is gonna be the last rookie we talk about here, and he's 5'9", 203 pounds, 22 years old. Came out of the second round to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I don't know. I can't really remember exactly what I said when he was coming out of college, but I thought he was all right, but there might have been too much hype around him just because of the name alone. But yeah, he's played pretty solid though. I'm not gonna lie with the 44 solos, the forced fumble, interception, and then 4 pass defenses. Great to see there. Um, really, he's been more of a coverage safety than anything else. Don't really see him going in and getting that sack or anything. But I mean, he does have 1 sack, but that was against the Vikings, and the Vikings really aren't. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Antoine Winfield, he's a good player. I love how he's looking so far. He proved me wrong, I would say, for when I was talking about him back in a long time ago. And yeah, I don't know. That's just what I think about him.
Yeah, I think he has a really good role on this Bucks defense. I think he's really almost carrying that coverage because they really don't have anyone else out there
I
that
mean,
can really step it up.
what do you mean? They got Sean Murphy bunting. They got
I,
Carlton Davis. What?
you know what I mean? like like Antoine Winfield has been carrying that secondary, and maybe that's what they need. But right now, it's not like a future thing for the Bucks. I mean, they have Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski, but
Yeah.
still, he's a great piece. And when those two leave next year, or maybe even 2 years from now, heck, who knows when Tom Brady will actually retire?
Yeah.
Is he's played a really good role in this Bucks defense. I think he's was a solid pick. I think he's another defensive rookie of the year candidate, and maybe even like the front runner. But no, I like him a lot. I didn't really know about him too much out of college, but he's definitely playing really well.
Yeah. Well, I think we should go on to our next thing now because we're trying to speed this one up a little bit. We're gonna do it like a speed episode, yeah. But
Okay.
next thing we got coming up is what we're gonna be talking about is what we believe in the playoff pictures for the NFC North and the AFC North. We're gonna be talking about the North teams now because we're just cool like that. But first up, we're gonna be talking about the NFC North, and the Packers just
Ooh.
clinched the #1 spot. That is for sure now after the BS that the referees did in that game. I don't want to get into that because that'll tick me off way too much. Well, we will, but um, but yeah, the Packers got that #1 spot, but now there's a battle for the #2 spot with the Vikings, Bears, and the Lions. Now, it Vikings are the top runner right now, but we'll see what happens. The Lions are going to need a miracle to be able to win this out, but I don't know. The Bears and the Vikings, for what I see right now, Mitch Trubisky now being the starting quarterback there, I don't see anything going on there, and the Vikings will probably take that #2 spot for that for the playoffs.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the Bears started off really good.
Yeah,
They lose like 5 games straight,
6. I think
6 games
it was
straight.
7, maybe 7. I think yeah, it was either 6 or 7 games straight because I'm pretty sure they won 5 straight.
Point is that the Bears suck.
Yeah, 6 games straight, 6 games straight. Wait, did they win this last I don't think they did. Hold up.
They
Oh,
went
they
up.
did.
No, they
Okay.
did. They
They
did.
did win. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, they were on a 6-game losing streak, they won their first game in 6, so that's not something great to see there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I don't really watch Bears games, but
It
Mitchell Trubisky isn't the
it's a
answer.
quarterback problem, that was the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was already proven that Mitch Trubisky wasn't gonna be the answer in the first place. After their first couple of games, we're like, "Holy crap, this guy is actually really bad." And they even noticed that from last year, that's why they put in Nick Foles, and he was playing alright, decent, but he wasn't playing at that top level that everybody might want him to play as, but
Not even that top level. He wasn't even starter quarterback material. I mean, he got benched for Mitchell Trubisky, bro.
then he got injured.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, Nick Foles got injured, that's the reason why he was quote unquote benched, but, yeah, I don't know. It's strange seeing how they put up these 5 wins. They weren't really against good teams if I remember so, but it was just strange how they started out the season so well, and then right afterwards just crap the bed. Just absolutely
Yeah.
crap the bed. Yes, so far, yeah, they didn't play against good teams at the start of the year, They had like the Lions, then the Giants, Falcons. Then they started
So
losing.
basically, just really bad defenses
Yeah,
that the offense could thrive on.
yeah. But they did have a good game against the Saints. That was an interesting one. It went into overtime. 26-23 win to the Saints though, but it was a close one. It kind of showed that Nick Foles was still kind of there. I mean, he was still kind of in it. But
Hmm.
something that they do have to watch out though is they need to keep David Montgomery. He is a specimen, all right? That guy is very good. He is very slick. He like has oil on him, but that's something to watch out right there. I see a great future in him, and I'm hoping the Lions can build, or not the Bears can build all around. That's what I'm hoping for, and we'll see about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going on to the AFC North, we got the Steelers, Browns, and Ravens. When it comes to this, I'm sad, but I think the Browns are going to take the second spot. Ravens, I hate saying that the Browns are going to take the second spot. I mean, they're a terrible team, but I have to say they're good now because you know, it's
A
happened.
record.
Yeah, even though they got more points against than points for. Uh, I mean, I don't understand this team. They play terrible, but then at the same time they play good. Uh, it doesn't make sense when I say that, but that's kind of how they play. I mean, they're not a good team, but at the same time they are good. So, I don't know. I'm gonna have to give the Browns that second one. Steelers are gonna get that first round bye. Um, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Right now, the Pittsburgh Steelers are down against the Buffalo Bills, 7-16 in the third quarter. 10 minutes left. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens there. 11-1 lost to the Washington football team. But I mean, hey, I told you, Jack, that was gonna be a close one. You didn't believe me. I said, hey, they got a good defense. Might need to watch out about that. And what happened? Yeah.
Okay. Um, I think the AFC North is really interesting. I think the Steelers, if they're lucky, will win one playoff game in the playoffs. I'm gonna be honest. I just
Yeah.
don't think they're that good. I think,
They
and
had an
if they
easy
do,
schedule.
yeah, and if they do, it's gonna be carried by their defense.
Mhm.
Like their defense is really good. I'd like to see the offense step up. I mean, I just don't see them really going far.
Mhm.
And the Browns, I think what Odell got off the team. That's what I think happened. After Odell got off, they've been playing so much better. And the only reason that Titans game was close at the end was because of the fact that they don't know what to do when they're up 40.
Yeah, they're not
They
used
don't
to
know
it.
what
They're
to
like,
do.
"Wait, hold up, we're winning against a good team? Wait a minute,
Exactly. Yeah, they didn't know what to do, so they kind
Get
of
out
just
the
like sat
AOL
there.
Wi-Fi network. Doo 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 doo.
And that might cost them in the playoffs, the fact that they have no experience playing good.
Yeah, we'll see what
So,
happens there. I don't know about
because
the Ravens though. I don't know if they're able to get another or to be able to get into the playoffs, but I mean they're close on that one.
yeah, with the Ravens, their defense is good. Their defense has been carrying them.
Same thing
Their
for their
entire
offense. It's
offense,
just no. Their offense is good too. They're a solid team. It's just
well, their offensive roster isn't good. It's Lamar Jackson and
nah,
maybe J.K. Dobbins and maybe Hollywood Brown. It's just Lamar
Hollywood Brown
Jackson,
is
and then
not performing. I'm sorry.
no.
It's their rushing offense. Their offense is great. I love how it's schemed, but at the same time, you got to know when you got to be able to set up passing plays for Lamar Jackson, even if he doesn't maybe want to pass it. You see that here and there where he struggles to pick whether or not he wants to run the ball or if he wants to pass it, and that's something that he has to work on. I believe that's the thing that's actually making the team struggle is sometimes his decision making. It might be hard to say that because he won the MVP last year, but that's what it seems like. He has this decision making time where he's like, "Ooh, Like, I'm gonna bobble the ball real quick. Which one am I gonna do? Am I gonna run it? Am I actually gonna pass it? Oh no, I see a defensive guy, so I'm just gonna start running immediately. He's rushing at me, so I'm just gonna start running, and then that
Mhm.
sometimes kills him. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I think.
That's what I think with the Ravens.
Well, again, you said it's a rushing offense. When you have Mark Ingram and having a really, really, really,
AJ
really, really
Thomas,
down year,
Jesse Edwards, and you got Lamar Jackson. You got all these rushing guys.
but they're not, and none of them are performing. You
I
realize
mean,
why you're 6-7 or whatever record they're at. So
65. Or
yeah,
wait, yeah, I think they're playing
no, because
tomorrow. They're playing tomorrow.
okay, oh yeah, but I think if the Browns beat the Ravens tomorrow, then I think the Ravens just aren't good this year.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I think they're good. They're just I don't know. Those are that's a difficult team to talk about. Same thing with the Browns. I have no clue how they have that record, but I guess I gotta say they're a good team. Never mind. I meant no, they're a great team. I think they're the best in the world. I mean, they're going to the Super Bowl. I didn't say that. No, don't capture that. Please, no one clip that. But next, we're gonna be talking about. I think we should talk about the just all the games that we got coming up. This is one that I expected. I would have loved to talk about my predictions coming into this, but I believe that the Rams are going to win this game against the Patriots. That's the first one we should be talking about, and it was a blowout. I saw it coming from a mile away. Most people wouldn't, but Cam Newton isn't getting it done. He doesn't look good, and just I don't know. The Rams are a solid team. They look great, and I love how they look, and I hope they make it into the playoffs. And that's something that I noticed with them is that they just look great altogether.
I think they're back to their Super Bowl team.
Yeah.
The one where the punt Super Bowl that was literally my least favorite Super Bowl of all time.
What, you don't like defensive Super Bowls? What's wrong with you?
That Super Bowl. The point was that team was good. They're back to that form, even though they totally cheated their way into the playoffs by that absolute no call. Bree should have
Okay.
another ring, and he should be the goat.
Okay. Okay. All right. Someone's gonna
Bree
be
should have another ring.
fired up here. All right. Well, Titans at Jaguars. Yeah. Derrick Henry's back. I even called it. I knew he was gonna be good coming out of this one. I mean, he didn't even have even that slump leak that he had for fantasy. He really wasn't that bad, I would say. Didn't he get somewhere around 4 yards a carry? It wasn't like he had a bad game. It was just an all right game, I would say. Nothing too exciting, I guess you can say. I
Yeah.
don't know. That's what I thought. And then coming into this week, he absolutely carried the team on his back. Didn't he put up 200 yards rushing and I think 2 touchdowns somewhere around there? And he was great. He looked great. Jaguars just aren't a good team this year. Um, then losing Gardner Minshew, not the best thing ever there. So that's why they're not doing too good here. Titans, they're just trying to bounce back after that loss last week. And yeah, they did a good job there.
Yeah. You know, I think it's weird. Henry, yeah, okay, top 3 running back, but
Top two
I don't know if it's just me. Top 2, yeah,
by a
yeah,
long shot.
yeah,
There's only
but
two really good running backs in this league. It's Dalvin Cook and Derrick
Derrick
Henry.
Henry, but also CMC, but he hasn't been playing. Rip
Yeah,
Jacobs
so
football team.
we don't have to talk about that.
Rip Jacobs fantasy football team.
Oh man! All right,
But
yeah.
but the point is that it's weird because he'll have an off game and then he'll literally just go off for.
Mhm.
It's weird. He'll just keep us reeled in as a top
See,
2
it's
running
funny
back.
that his off games are 60 yards, and we would call that a good game for most running backs.
That's true. That's
So
true.
that's all I'm trying to say is that people say that he might be playing bad this week, but really, he's playing better than than what most running backs do on a weekly basis.
I think
So
it's just mostly because
if they're just the Titans are so used to getting carried by him that they can't find another way to get anything going. Well, they do got AJ Brown, but I
yeah.
mean, he only gets going if Derrick Henry gets going.
Mhm.
That passing game only works if Derrick Henry is a huge struggle. That's
Yeah.
that's that's the only way I notice things. Holy cow, is Stephon Diggs playing good right now. Alright.
Well, well, and then with the Jaguars, they're not good. I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest,
Well,
but they
obviously.
have a couple young pieces. I mean, James Robinson has been
Yeah, he's been pretty
insane
good.
running back, insane running back, easily top 10 right now. Um, and you have Josh Allen on the defense. Like, I know it's not much, but like most teams don't have a top 10 rookie running back in their arsenal right now. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, and a low pick, like, or sorry, a high pick. So I feel like they can work with this team. I feel like it's not a dead end like a lot of teams where you're just like the Bears or something, they're just like
Yeah.
like you can't trade Khalil Mack or anyone in your defense.
Well, why
Your
would you wanna
defense is
trade
really
away though?
good.
You don't wanna trade them
And,
away.
yeah, well, and your defense is really good, and then who are you going
Yeah.
to trade on offense? Like no one's going to want Mitchell Trubisky, and you can't. Yeah, they're just out of rut here, but the Jaguars can work with it.
Yeah. Well, next up, we got the Vikings at Buccaneers. Vikings losing this one. Actually, I thought it would be a little bit of a closer game, but I don't know why I was expecting that. Usually, when it comes to a solid team, the Buccaneers will have it a little bit closer. But I don't know. It was a fun game to watch. Kirk Cousins almost made a comeback going into the third to fourth quarter. It was looking actually kind of promising for him. This game I actually watched a lot of, and yeah, I don't know. Dalvin Cook wasn't looking that good, but um, something to say was Justin Jefferson did catch up in the final little quarters in the last two quarters, and he was looking pretty good there. Not gonna lie, it looked like a good game. And then in just the start, the Vikings got to learn how to get points at the start against good teams. But that's something that they just got to work on. That's just play calling and stuff, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think a couple of years ago, and it was so weird because I think a couple of years ago the Vikings had the most easily.
Yeah.
Like they had Dalvin Cook at the time, and then they had Thielen, and they had Diggs, and they had a good offensive line,
Uh
and
huh.
their defense was so good, and they didn't do anything with it. And I was really confused. But point is that this team is still good. Like I don't know. I think something's up. Maybe it's Kirk Cousins, but I think it should be easy to start and easy to establish a running game when you have the best running back in the league and the best
Well, then you got to look at the
rookie wide
offensive line.
receiver.
The offensive line is very, very important. Um,
Yeah.
when you watch them play, it's basically all Dalvin Cook's magic. That's why I
Yeah.
believe he's definitely one or two, either door. All right,
I
there's
think
no
he's
way
one.
around it. I don't know. Derrick Henry is, he's,
I think Derrick Henry is more obvious.
but
I think out of the whole league,
obviously, man,
he's
he's the one that's putting up more numbers than anyone else. I'm sorry, he's the number one rushing leader in the league right now and everything. I mean, it's hard not to say that he isn't the best for this right now in the season.
I
Like the
think
whole offense is literally built around him.
yeah,
When it
that's
comes
true.
to Dalvin Cook and everything, he has actual other talent on the team that that allows them that they can rely on. When it comes to the Titans, they only rely on him.
Yeah, which is helps Derrick Henry and doesn't help him because he has the whole team on his back, and that's
Yeah.
more carries and then more yards and more touchdowns. So it makes him look a little better, but it is more tiring to just keep running the ball over and over and over and over. But yeah, I mean,
But
yeah,
something to talk about when it comes to the Buccaneers, they did look a little bit iffy if we're talking about them playing against a team that they should definitely be winning against. And it was kind of interesting to see. Tom Brady threw some iffy throws, but at the same time looked like a great quarterback. It was strange. Ronald Jones had a pretty good game. I love seeing how he played. Very shifty guy. I didn't actually expect that. He's very fast, like agile in a way. Like he looks like he's, like, running slow, but no, he just picked up 15 yards. It's like, "Whoa, what just happened?" But
yeah,
yeah, it looks like he has, like, a momentum weight, not like a Derrick Henry, but, like, I don't know how to explain it. It's interesting watching him run. And then that's the same thing for, watching Shady McCoy back. He had a couple carries, and he looked like he was still in his prime. He looked like Adrian Peterson running with the ball. Both of them are old, and they're both playing pretty good. So I mean, yeah, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Game update though on the Pittsburgh Buffalo game, 7-23. There's still 7 minutes in the third. It looks like so. Looking like a little bit of a blowout here against Pittsburgh. This is gonna be their second loss.
Don't say that. People will be listening to the podcast tomorrow,
Yeah.
and they'll be like, "Oh man, were they stupid?" It'll be like 26-23 when we finish this.
Watch it. But yeah, going up Chiefs at Dolphins. This is probably Patrick Mahomes' worst game he has ever played.
Oh,
Ever.
easily.
I'm pretty sure he broke the record for the longest sack taken.
Oh, dude,
And
that
he
was
had 3
atrocious.
interceptions.
I
It
think he
was
had more
terrible.
interceptions versus the Dolphins than he did the entire season.
Yeah, he has. He had 1 more interception than he had the whole entire season, which he had 2. But at the same time, he threw for 317 yards and 2 touchdowns. So it's interesting seeing that he can still bounce back. That shows how much talent he really does have. He can have the most crappiest game ever. Just absolute dog crap where he's running backwards for 40 yards and then
Thinking he's like
same
Russell
time
Wilson or something.
and then at the same time, come back against the Dolphins, put up 2 touchdowns, 300 yards, and win the game.
Hmm.
That is something that's great leadership of the Chiefs, and that is why they're probably going to go to the Super Bowl this year. They're going to be my
Oh yeah,
Super
for
Bowl
sure.
pick, obviously, but that's just what I see coming up. Uh, I mean, that's like wow. And Tua Tagovailoa had a step up game. Loved how he
Hmm.
looked. I loved how he looked that game. Matt Flores
I
put in
think,
a little bit more trust into him, and he looked good. I liked it. Showed that he's willing to play now.
yeah, I think the fact that the Dolphins, I mean, even kept it within 6 points and forced Mahomes to throw 3 interceptions is crazy. I think the Dolphins are legitimately a really good team.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they are a really good team, and it's going to be a battle for the Bills and the Dolphins for the
Yeah,
AFC East, which is funny because you say that 3 years from now or 3 years ago, and you're like, like the AFC East used to be dominated by just Tom Brady, and now like, look at this. I think that's just really cool. But yeah, no, Dolphins are legitimately good, but I think Patrick Mahomes is also an MVP candidate. Especially
yeah.
after this,
No, I think he is.
I mean, he's MVP. Yeah,
He
he's
is the
MVP.
MVP. It's either that or Aaron Rodgers. Those are my 2 MVP picks for this year.
I think Aaron Rodgers is behind Patrick
Or if not
Mahomes.
that, Derrick Henry. I think those are
Derek
the 3 ones that
Mahomes.
I got. Yeah, Derrick Mahomes.
It's
But
crazy how Russell Wilson just kind of threw that MVP away.
yeah, same thing with Kyler Murray. Which at
Yeah.
the start of the season, you'd be like, "What the heck? These guys are like the best of the best right now."
I really wanted to see the Cardinals win a Super Bowl for Larry Fitzgerald, but
Yeah, that's not. Well, he's already won one. I'm pretty sure, hasn't he?
he went to one. He does not have one.
I thought he won one against the Steelers.
They lost against the Steelers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so now Broncos at Panthers, 32-27. Broncos, Drew Lock looking great, actually. I was surprised about that one. Mike Davis on the Panthers looking all right. Love to see that still with Christian McCaffrey being out and he's still being able to step in. Should have been in this week. Kind of strange that Christian McCaffrey just out of nowhere, boom. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be great this week. I'm feeling great," and then immediately afterwards went, "Oh shucks, yeah, not feeling too good now." But yeah, that probably screwed up the Panthers a little bit. But otherwise, that it looked like they played too good. I didn't really watch this game. Don't know much about it, but that's just what I know from stat wise.
Yeah, I mean, CMC is still out, and Mike Davis is still beasting up. I mean,
I mean, he had an all right game. I wouldn't say beasting. It was 11 for 58, 2 touchdowns, somewhere around there.
oh, that's still
He,
solid. But
he had
yeah,
a
no,
solid
it's not.
game. Yeah. If that was Derrick Henry, everybody would be like, "Amen, again! I can't believe he did that." But yeah. Next up, we got is Texans at Bears, and holy crap, did Mitch Trubisky and Patrick Mahomes switch spots today? Jesus Lord, I have never seen Mitch Trubisky play this good.
Yeah.
Texans look terrible. It's like, how did we get blown out to this team? Oh wait, never mind. I know Matt Patricia, but I mean, it's like the Bears we won against with their Bevel, and he's only been coaching for 2 weeks now, but that time 1 week, and out of nowhere, boom, they have this huge game where they just had this deep or offensive explosion. I would say mostly David Montgomery. He was crazy this week. David Montgomery put up some points, dude. I mean, you want to hear? He had 11 attempts, 113 yards. He had a 10 yards per carry average. He had an 80-yard touchdown.
Yeah, that was the thing that kicked him off, and he just never stopped.
Yeah, for real. And I remember looking at watching the game when you just randomly clicked it on Vikings game, and it was like, wow, David Montgomery looked like he had some oil on him. He was sliding off from everyone. No one could bring him down. It was just that was the reason why Mitch Trubisky played good, because then they had time to be able to get the ball out, because they had to worry about David Montgomery and whether he can run the ball or they're going to run it all over him. So I
Yeah.
mean, that's just something that the Texans need to work on. Like what we said in our last episode, their rush defense is terrible. It is terrible. They need to work on it. It seemed like they had it a little bit down pat, but it's back to being bad again. It is bad.
I mean, the Texans are just bad.
I mean, yeah, but they're looking a lot better with um, how Deshaun Watson's playing.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson's carrying the team. Like, he's just, yeah.
Yeah, but he really wasn't able to pass the ball that much from what I saw stat wise, and I don't know. Just wasn't looking too good for him. Cole Kmet, another guy from the Bears, you guys should probably be watching. He's going to fill up that Jimmy Graham spot soon, and he will be good. He was good this week and last week. Watch him on fantasy. But yeah. All right, next up, Cardinals at Giants. This was kind of expected that there was going to be a little bit of a blowout here, 26-7. DeAndre Hopkins finally had his comeback game. Pulled up 100 yards. Great to see. Yeah, Kyler looked like he was back to being normal again. Looked like Kyler Murray, and I don't know. I love to see it. Definitely the game that the Cardinals needed, that little break from all these hard teams, and just being able to put up the numbers that they wanted to put up.
Yeah, I'm not going to say this was a free win by the Cardinals, because the
It was
Giants.
definitely not. The Giants have been able to stop some
The
teams.
Giants' defense is
They won
good.
against the Seahawks. So
Yeah, the Giants' defense has been able to stop. They've been able to step up incredibly. So,
yeah,
it's. I'm not going to say, oh, Kyler Murray had an easy game. That's the reason why he, stepped on track. No, I think they actually legitimately stepped up and, scored 26 points on a legitimate Giants defense. It's just their offense is bad, but
yeah. So like I said, this was another thing that I thought of. This was going to be Daniel Jones's breakout year. I thought. They didn't put anything around him. Andrew Thomas has been playing terrible. We'll talk about that later at a later date. But offensive line has not been stepping up for him, and it's shown. There was 6 sacks this game. Hassan Reddick, or no, 7. There was 7 sacks this game against both Colt McCoy and Daniel Jones combined, and 2 of them came against Colt McCoy in the last final seconds or minutes or so. But one of them came against Colt McCoy in the last final seconds. 6 of them came against Daniel Jones throughout the game. 5 of them came from Hassan Reddick. Hassan Reddick broke a franchise record that game for most sacks against the quarterback, and that was crazy. He had a great game, and he looked awesome. That's someone that has a bright future, and I loved how he looked when he came out of college, and he's finally showing that he's good now. I love that. And
yeah.
But it's not that hard to get that many sacks against a terrible Giants offensive line. They look like the Lions out here. But that's something to see. I still think the Giants are still my favorites for who's going to win the NFC East, I'm pretty sure. But
yeah, probably. Them or the Washington football team.
Football team's putting out a huge surprise. That defense is what's really helping them there. And yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be either one of them. I thought the Cowboys were gonna be it. It was gonna either be the Giants or Cowboys, but Andy Dalton, Andy Dalton,
Andy
Andy
Dalton.
Dalton. But actually, he did have a good game. Speaking of which, Cowboys at Bengals, 30-7. Cowboys actually had a good game. I wasn't able to watch this, but I was watching Zeke a little bit. Didn't perform well. That was kind of noticed, but Tony Pollard was basically the starting running back of that game. And I don't know. I think there might be a trade coming up soon of Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
It's looking like it. I mean,
I,
they're starting Tony Pollard over him. That's how you know
well,
it's a little bit like, uh-oh.
didn't they pay him a bunch of money though?
They did, but that doesn't mean anything. They're probably gonna. I think the Eagles are probably gonna trade away Carson Wentz soon, or at least just keep him on the bench.
Oh yeah, they'll trade
Backup.
away Carson Wentz.
But I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
We'll see what happens there. I just think that might happen soon.
Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott might be gone, and then they're gonna get themselves Dak Prescott. They're gonna get Dak Prescott a contract.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's sad to see that the Bengals are dropping off now that they don't have their star quarterback of Joe Burrow. It really shows, even with like I said with T Higgins, that was their offense. Joe Burrow was their offense.
Well, I think it's not even just that it's only their offense. I think he just fuels the offense a bunch because they have good players. They have Tyler Boyd and T Higgins and Joe
He's the thing that
Mixon
keeps
run
that
the
thing
offensive
going, man.
line. What?
He's the one that keeps that thing going.
Yeah, he fuels everything.
Hmm
By distributing the ball. But when you have who's even their quarterback?
Brandon Allen.
Yeah, when you have
He played all
Brandon
right.
Brandon Allen. But I mean, still, I mean, it just Joe Burrow is their offense.
Yeah, really, that's really all you can say about it.
Yeah.
But coming up next, we got the Jets at Seahawks. I don't know if we can really talk much about this. It was kind of expected. Oh, something to do bring up Russell Wilson did not look the best against a really easy Jets defense. But or yeah, Russell Wilson didn't look the best. But otherwise, that it was 3-40, easy win. I mean, nothing much else to say about that. Oh yeah, and
Um.
happy birthday, DK.
Um. Russell Wilson sold my fantasy team, um, completely and entirely. So I don't really have a comment on this one. But
Oh, it doesn't matter. You're not in the playoffs, dude. I'm the one that's getting
because
screwed
of
over
Russell
by
Wilson.
Justin Herbert. But next game coming up, Packers at Lions. The refs are paid. But yeah, really here okay, I'm gonna do a little mini rant here. The Lions should have won this game. When it comes to what I'm trying to say here is that just coming into the fourth quarter, Marvin Jones, huge toe drag or catch. It was challenged by Darren Bevel, great challenge. It both of his feet were down, and they said that the call stand that it was an incomplete catch. He had completion with the ball and everything. Dean Blandino even said, "Hey, this is a catch. I would rule this a catch." And usually when he says that, it is what it is. um, but no, they said it wasn't one. The call standed, and it just didn't make sense. And then later, what happened is in the final minutes. All right, it's a win or nothing situation. Lions get a field goal. They drove down the field, got a field goal, and then what they did is they went for an onside kick. And then what happened was tragedy. Ref struck back again. Miles Killebrew on the sideline again made a catch with the ball, recovered the ball, 1 foot in bounds. That should have been a recovery. The referees, with their one-on-one vision instead of 20/20, because they just are completely blind, did not see that, and called it as catching it out of bounds, and it was a penalty against the Lions because they let the ball go out of bounds. 2 reviews. And then also, before halftime, there was a pass interference that wasn't called. That was of the game. but they didn't call it. Because it doesn't matter. It's the Lions. They shouldn't win against the Packers. But just to say, the Lions kicked butt this game. I talked to a few of my friends that were Packers fans. I'm not gonna shout out their names, but they even said, "You guys had us. You guys should have won." But the Lions themselves, Stafford looked great. Darrell Bevell, I think, should be the head coach coming into next year. He has been looking like a great coach, great time management, and everything. I love how Darrell Bevell has been doing things. What he has done to this team has been a complete 180. He has been giving Matthew Stafford the ball. He's been allowing him to just chuck it downfield. He's been looking better than what he has before. I mean, he's looking back to what he looked like last year. That's something great to see before he got his injury. But I mean, that's something that's great about Darrell Bevell, and I think coming into the season, I think the Packers need to look at this game and say, "Wow, what did we do wrong?" Because we almost lost to the Lions, and that's not good. Um, yeah, I don't know. All I have to say is that we probably should have won that game. The referees, I can say, were not on our side, and I don't know. Next time, that's all I have to say there. Stafford had a great game. He is injured with ribs now, um, but we'll see what happens. Chase Daniels came in and looked solid too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I have to say about that game.
That's your rant.
Yeah. Yeah. Next up, we got Falcons at Chargers. I was keeping a little bit of a look on this game too. 17-20, Chargers won. I didn't see the ending, but Justin Herbert was looking pretty good. Same thing with Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley, and Calvin Ridley went off that game. I loved how he looked. Was able just to catch those deep balls that needed to be caught, and just everything. He looked like Calvin Ridley from last year. And I mean, he's still been improving. He's been playing really good this whole season too, and he's a great wide receiver. I love how he looks, and then their defenses for both teams actually perform pretty well too.
Yeah, I thought I'm kind of surprised that this game was this close. I thought the Chargers were going to dot up the Falcons secondary big time, but Falcons defense kind of stepped up against Herbert and Allen.
Yeah. um. Yeah. Wait. Hold on. What'd you say again? Sorry, I zoned out.
Falcons defense stepped up against Herbert and Allen.
Yeah, a little bit. Keenan Allen didn't get many yardage. I would say that around 50 yards. He got a touchdown right at the start of the game. He got a 10-yard touchdown. But I mean, yeah. Herbert, these last past games, he's going against harder teams, and he's been kind of struggling. But that's kind of noticeable. I mean, he is kind of, what would you say? He is kind of that type where he does like to throw those like cheap balls and stuff like that, but I don't know. Going against those harder teams, he can't really do that, and I don't know. Definitely won. He put up the numbers he needed to do, and Eckler looked great coming back too.
Yeah, I mean this Chargers offense just did good.
Yeah,
Got
just like
up.
usual.
Mm-hmm.
Saints at Eagles, interesting one. I knew Taysom Hill wasn't a good quarterback. I knew that was a fluke game last week. There was no way Taysom Hill put up those type of numbers. And it proved.
Yeah.
Weren't able to beat the Eagles with a new quarterback.
Yeah, they kind of
First
choked
game
that one.
starting. I'm sorry, but just to see that, I was like, whatever, man. Holy cow. But I don't know. That was something to look at there. Very, very interesting. But yeah, I mean, Jalen Hurts first start, something Jack wanted, and it looks like that paid off for him.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens there. I definitely think Carson Wentz is over with. Carson Wentz era is done, and yeah, time for Jalen Hurts. And actually, um, an interesting fact is that both how we call him, Michael Vick and Jalen Hurts for their first like kind of quote unquote starts, like coming like switching quarterback games, was against the Packers. They were both down 20-3, and they were both in the third quarter by only a 1 minute difference. By 10 years apart too. It's 10 years apart.
Yeah.
So that's something interesting right there. But yeah, I don't know. The Saints Eagles game, definitely a disappointing game for the Saints. Uh Got to come back though. Got to be strong with it. I think Drew Brees is coming back soon though. I don't think he's out for the season, so we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, I mean, after the season, he'll retire anyways. Retire as the GOAT. So
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if he retires. He's not always gonna retire.
yeah, he's gonna retire.
But I don't know. Next up we got is the football team and the 49ers. 23-15. Washington on top. Definitely something of an interesting game. I didn't get to watch much of it. I got to watch a little bit, but it was a defensive game throughout and through in. Chase Young, huge fumble recovery touchdown. Great thing to see there. And yeah, not much else I really watched of that game.
Yeah, it was a great defensive matchup. I would love to see Robert Saleh come to the Lions. I think that's probably what will happen.
I'll keep Bevel. I love him. He's playing great right now. His coaching decisions have been really good.
I mean, I wouldn't complain if we kept Daryl Bevel. I'm just thinking like what would actually happen more than less what I would want. Like, I mean, he's from Dearborn, Michigan
Yeah,
native. I think that's just what will pan out. But no, I think this game was just a defensive matchup. I mean, you know, Redskins defense has been stepping up with like Chase Young and you know Montez Sweat and you know all those guys. So you know,
yeah. Definitely that Washington football team defense has been pretty good. I love everything about them. You could see that they were starting to kind of form it against the Lions. They had that little stand on the Lions. They started building up score against them, and then after that, they've had a really good defense. It looked like they finally got it all together. So
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. That's what I see so far. Well, now on to the last game that is going on right now. Actually, is the Steelers at Bills, and so far the Pittsburgh Steelers are starting to come back, but Josh Allen right now and the Bills have the ball fourth quarter, 12 minutes ago. And so far, Stephon Diggs has been looking crazy good, and he's been killing this defense. Same thing with Cole Beasley. Really, the whole passing game of the Bills is looking great this game. I'm
Oh yeah.
loving how this passing game is looking. They haven't been able to really run the ball, but passing wise, sheesh, man. Oh my lord. I told you guys. Cole Beasley. He is so good, man. I'm not joking. Cole Beasley, man. Oh my gosh. But I mean, so far in the halftime, Josh Allen has been 11-11 for 125 yards and 2 touchdowns. That is crazy good. And then this number 13 guy came out of nowhere. Never really even heard about him, and he's been playing pretty good too. I mean, I'm pretty sure he has a touchdown in this game. And yeah, this Pittsburgh's defense isn't looking as good as he usually does.
Mm,
Um, yeah, finally going against one of those hard teams. We'll see what happens.
yeah, I think like the Steelers are good, but I think they're just you know pretenders. And I'm not
Yeah,
saying like I mean they're a solid team. I mean they're you know they're gonna get that bye, but like
yeah,
for
they're gonna get the
being
bye, but then at the same time, I don't think that they're gonna get much farther. Um,
yeah for being 11-1
they're kind of like the Patriots last year, where they had that really good defense, but then oh wait, we were playing against terrible teams. Oh shucks.
yeah.
Josh Allen just made an overthrow there, but that was a really good play by 13, getting past all those defenders right there. But yeah, that's what's going on right now in this game. Looks like the Pittsburgh Steelers are trying to make a comeback here, but Josh Allen just likes throwing it deep. So we'll see what happens there going on to the end of this game. But last game up is Ravens at the Super Bowl Browns, and we'll see what happens. I'm hoping the Ravens win, but probably won't happen because Ravens depend too much on Lamar Jackson down here.
And why else will they win, Jacob?
Because they're a good team. Why did I make that bet? Why did I make that bet? Dang it! Oh shoot, there goes the Coke can. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The Browns, Baker Mayfield isn't good. I'm still gonna say that. I don't think he's a good quarterback. He's very mediocre at best. Then I don't know. You got the wide receivers. Jarvis Landry looks like he's back to being in his Dolphin days, and I guess we'll see what happens. Browns defense isn't that good either, and
It's solid.
no,
They got Myles Garrett.
no. Oh wow, cool.
Yeah,
Anything else?
they got
Uh,
they got Myles Garrett. Oh, wait,
let me go on to ESPN real quick for you, Jack. Let me go on
hold
to
on.
ESPN.
Wait.
ESPN Browns depth chart. Let's see what we got coming up. They got Nick Chubb. Got Sion Taki, and they got Denzel Ward, which is out. But then they got Andrew Sandejo. What are you talking about? He's the best.
Ooh,
The best.
yeah. And then Rodney Harrison.
Yeah, they're just so good.
Yeah, they got Cody Parkey.
I mean, okay, I can't lie. Larry Ogunjobi and Myles Garrett, they have a pretty good defensive line. But otherwise, and then Olivier Vernon and everything like that. That's a pretty good defensive line. I love how that looks. But not a 9-3 team. I'm sorry. I just don't see that out of them. They're gonna be one of those teams that are just like the Steelers. They're gonna lose right away. I'm calling it. Even though they played all these good teams and everything,
All right.
they won against the Titans. No.
But they got Marvin Hall.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say that. There's some breaking news. Marvin Hall, as you guys might know now, has been released by the Lions because we're stupid, and he has been picked up by the Browns. There's some news. So actually, they're gonna go to the Super Bowl. They're gonna kill the Chiefs, and Marvin Hall is gonna bring them there. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what do you think, Jack? Who do you think is gonna win that game?
I'm gonna go Browns.
All right.
I just think the Ravens defense has been carrying, and they've kind of been declining a little bit, and that offense just hasn't been able to do what it needs to do.
Yeah. Well, going on to our last thing before we end this all, talk about injuries. This, like we said, we're trying to make it a little bit shorter. Probably wasn't, but last stuff we got is injuries and some things we got to talk about. Jeff Okuda going out for the rest of the season with a groin injury. Matthew Stafford also with his ribs being injured. He was questionable at the end of the game. Didn't play for the rest of the game. They added in who is it? Chase Daniels. And then also with that, Aaron Rodgers came off the field one time limping, or he actually played with a limp. And we'll see what happens there. Watch out for that. Also, any other big names I can think of? Oh, Darius Slay, he was injured in the Philadelphia game, so watch that too. Big piece right there, and yeah, that's all I can really think of for injuries. I don't know if there was any other big ones that I slipped through, but
I think you got all of them.
That's what I've seen so far. But yeah, also, people coming back from injury. Zeke Elliott playing through an injury right now, bruised his calf, and then you got DeAndre Swift coming back from his illness. Well, he's actually playing. He played with an illness, but he also came back from his concussion finally, and he looked pretty all right. Pretty all right, yeah. That's how I'll say that. But yeah, that's so far with injuries, and now I think we're gonna call it goods for now. This was the episode 4, week 14 of the Sideline Podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed, and as usual, all stats are from ESPN.com and ProFootballReference.com. I am here with Jack, and yeah, hope to see you guys next week. And yeah, be looking for that. We'll try to get it out earlier than Monday or Sunday. I don't know when we're gonna get this out, but probably Monday. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. Peace out.
See ya.